things like that, guys thinking something may happen, even if it doesn't happen, just as a coach, how do you navigate that?
Just do your job, try to keep it as simple as possible. Don't overthink it. It's out there probably more so than ever, with social media now. When I first came in the league, there was whispers, but not at your fingertips, and the phone and all that. It's changed so much. There's so many rumors out there. But just focus on the job. Keep it as simple as possible. Business as usual. No understanding that they're human beings, all these players. So, but our goal is to just do our job tonight and, move on from there.
Is it harder now than when you first came in the league to kind of keep guys focused because of everything that is at their fingertips?
Yes. I mean, coaching is different. Teaching is different. Our NBA world and culture is different because of it, As much as I try to share with our guys, as much as you can, stay off that stuff. It's not good for you or me or any of us, It's a lot of noise that you have to be aware of. There's noise out there, but as much as you can, limit the noise, Stay focused on the job, the task at hand.
Yeah, back on the court, your defense has really improved dramatically, especially in the last 5 games. What's been the difference for you?
Well, I think, part of it is we've added a little more size to the lineup. We've slowly but surely been making progress in this area, but, I think the board, we've been putting attention on the board. Physicality, number one in the half court, just being more handsy, physical, aggressive, at the expense of fouls too. We just try to, we're trying to turn this thing through our physicality. So as I've shared with our guys, to be a relevant team in this league, you have to defend. There's not a relevant team that's going to be 28, 29, 30th in the league defensively. It's just not going to happen. The teams that have made progress from even 2 years ago, 1 year ago, have done it through the defensive lens. And we, as an organization, have to find a defensive identity to move this thing forward. And that's the goal here. Our guys understand it, and we value it. And to play moving forward, we've got to see and demand that defense is the priority.
Do you think also the fact that you're holding on to the ball better has helped as well?
Yeah.
So you're able to get back in the
No doubt. It's holding on to the ball, not turning it over, and shot selection. So a lot of our poor shots at the rim lead to transition the other way, whether it's getting blocked. I know it doesn't show up in the stat sheet as a turnover, but a bad shot at the rim that's getting blocked is basically a turnover going the other direction. So shot selection in the paint is massive for us, not turning it over. If we do those two things, we're giving ourselves a better shot in the half-court defense. If we can get our defense set, much better.
Going back to the defense, I'm just curious, kind of more broadly speaking, just how much more difficult do you think it is to play defense right now than maybe, 5, 10 years ago?
I think significantly, from when I came in the league 20-plus years ago to 10 years ago, number one, possessions are up, plays are less scripted. Guys have to make decisions on the fly and multiple decisions. So there's more decisions to be made within a game because of the possessions, and then there's more action within a play. It's not just a scripted come down and run a pick and roll. There's a lot of movement to the game right now. And then multiple guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot. The days of just having 1 or 2 shooters on the floor are really gone. You gotta account for multiple shooters, more space on the floor. But the biggest thing to me is the amount of decisions players have to make on the fly. That's the biggest thing.
Is that, you mentioned earlier, like how you coach is different, and is how you coach defense different at all because of how many more decisions guys have to make? Like, have you changed your philosophy?
Well, I think yes and no. Learning from Pop in the San Antonio world, we tried to keep it as simple as possible back then. I still think that resonates today. The less complicated your schemes are, the better. What trumps all to me is physicality, aggression, keep it simple, let players play off instinct. I think when they're not, analyzing and paralysis by analysis, when they can just go be instinctive and use their God-given abilities and force and aggression, you have a better chance to guard in this league today. The league is probably allowing us to guard a little bit more with our hands, and I think that's a good thing. The amount of movement offensively in the space, if we don't allow that, we're going to see 150 plus every night. So we have to defend with our hands, with our physicality, bodies in front of bodies, which is similar to how it was, back in the day. Now you just got to do it for more possessions and with, more speed probably.
When you rolled out that starting five that you did in Charlotte, the size that you put out there, what was the hope, and then what would you say your assessment was after having kind of seen those things?
Well, we've been at it now for 6 games, I believe. That lineup's been out there for 6 games, 3-3. The defense has moved significantly. I think Milwaukee's the other team within that 5 games that has moved the needle defensively. I think it's the 2 of us in general. It's more switchable. It's more size, more physicality on the ball. I think at the point of attack, we're just better at the point of attack. We're more physical and aggressive there. More size on the floor. We're more switchable. So we don't have to stay in coverages. We have 4 guys, if not 5 guys, that are switchable, that can stay in front of the ball. So we're containing the ball more. And then I think obviously, to the point Graf made, as long as we're not turning it over, that group's not turning it over, so we're getting our half-court defense set, which allows us to guard. So in general, more physicality, more size, more protection of the rim and the paint.
It's National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Why do you think it's important, if you believe it's important to celebrate that?
It's massive. I mean, I have a daughter that's trying to get in the industry and loves sports, and being around trailblazer like Becky Hammon as well. It's massive. Just the what they bring to the sport. They belong. They add a different element than when I first came in. Just having that presence, that voice, that commitment. I love having that culture around us, and I'm so excited for my daughter because she now gets to be a part of it, and she gets to chase her dreams and I love the way our players are responding to it. Just the welcoming of that spirit and voice in our locker room, the respect that now is given to women in all sports, but especially I've seen it in basketball. I look at someone like Becky Hammon, who so talented, had wonderful ideas, obviously played the game, but for her to enter our locker room, our coaches' rooms, and have such a voice and respect, given to her from Pop, really turned the culture there and really allowed the trailblazing to be set. I know it's been in other sports as well, but more than anything, I'm just thrilled for someone like my daughter who wants to have a presence in sports, to have that opportunity and have massive impact, in areas of all sports. So I think it's extremely important.
What does your daughter do?
She was a basketball player. She's now at USC.
Okay.
She works with the men's team out there, and Coach Musselman has allowed her to come in and be a part of it.